Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I don't work here lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, No, You Don't Work Here, Lady. I've never been mistaken for an employee at a place I don't work at, but I did have to tell a Karen that she doesn't work at my store. I work at 7-Eleven, and I've been there for about 6 years now. I used to work night shift. Boy, do I have some stories from those days, but one that really stands out for this subreddit is the time I had to tell a lady she doesn't work at my store. It was late one night, or perhaps early in the morning, and my cover had gone home for the night, so I was running the store by myself. I had an older woman come in with a younger woman, late 40s and early 20s, so I'm assuming mother and daughter. Mum just so happens to have that Karen vibe to her. She walks up to my counter while I'm taking care of some tasks. Karen, can I use your bathroom? Now, we don't have a public bathroom at my store. We have a staff bathroom, but it's behind a locked door that needs a code to get in. Naturally, we aren't supposed to let customers use it. Me, sorry, we don't have a bathroom. Karen, well, where do you guys go to the bathroom then? Me, we have a staff bathroom, but it's for staff only. Karen, well, I'm staff so you have to let me use your bathroom. Me, I don't think you work here. Karen, yes I do. I worked for 7-Eleven 20 years ago, so you have to let me use your bathroom. Again, it's a bathroom for staff only. We'll make an exception for employees that left recently, but even if this lady is telling the truth, she left the company before I was even born. Me, I'm sorry, I can't let you use our bathroom. Karen, well, I want to speak to your manager. It's about 3 in the morning right now, so our manager is asleep. I'm kinda losing my mind here, because this is my first interaction with a Karen in the wild. I'm still relatively new to the company too, so I can't think of any other option right now. Me, okay, I'll give her a call. I call my manager, and she's very not pleased. I explain the situation, and she tells me the best thing to do is ask her to leave. I head back out from the back, making sure to close the door behind me. No promised land for her. When I get back to the counter, she has that impatient Karen trademark look about her. Me, I called my manager, and she says you can't use our bathroom. Karen, yeah, right. Passive-aggressive eye roll. Me, my manager also said you have to leave. Karen, whatever. If I p*** myself, it's all your fault. Thankfully she didn't raise a huge stink about it, but wow. I can't think of another time I've had to tell a customer that they don't work at my store. Usually if they do, they know the code already and can just walk into the back to talk to the boss. So that's my horror story from the days of endless night shift. I hope you enjoy reading it a lot more than I enjoyed living it. The next story is titled, The Time I Was Proven Wrong. About a year ago I was helping my friend build a computer, so we went to the local computer parts store to buy some components. In the power supply section, we found a few different models that we hadn't considered that had an in-store only sale, so I suggested we walk over to the Fruit-branded laptop stand to read some reviews, because I knew they were connected to the store's internal Wi-Fi network. After a few minutes of reading reviews, and comparing prices at other stores, an older man tried to get my attention. At this point, I should note that the employees at this store wear bright neon orange polo shirts, which I most certainly was not wearing. Excuse me, he asked, do you work here? No, I don't, sorry. The workers are dressed like him, I replied, pointing to one of the workers, who was helping someone else at the time, but I wanted to point out their very bright uniform, which should be pretty obvious to anyone. I know, but I've been helped by someone wearing normal clothes once, he said. At this point, he seemed pretty nice about it all, ignoring that technically if I was an employee I would have been helping a customer, so this guy would still be barging in, so I asked him if I could take a shot at answering his question. He asked what the difference between the touch bar laptop and the non-touch bar version was besides price. After looking, I told him that looks like it was the only difference, which disappointed him. Then, someone behind us interrupted us, can I help any of you guys? We turned around, only to see that the worker asking us, was, in fact, wearing normal street clothes. The old maid excitedly yelled, see, I told you they don't all wear uniforms, which I conceded. After that, I palmed him off to the actual worker, and my friend and I walked back to the PSU section, where we carried on with our day, a little confused as to what happened. The next story is titled, A Small and Non-Confrontational, But Still. I worked at one company as IT specialist for close to 13 years, but then they started to outsource more, and in my last year there I was mostly an in-between person to load what was outsourced into our program and run final tests to catch their mistakes. Outsourced company had people with certificates, unlike me, but getting them do anything non-critical in any sensible amount of time was a struggle. But I never could imagine how bad it was without me kicking them every now and then. I quit in September and immediately found a new job and forgot all about them, deleting most of my contact list. And then back in March I got a message over Skype asking me to load latest changes into program. After some thought to remember who it was and what did they want, I wrote back that I can't do it because I quit half a year ago. The killer answer? Well, I can't get in touch with other programmer, maybe can try to do it anyway? The next story is titled, I'm Just Nosy. For many years, I went to a bar and grill near a major university campus. On Monday nights, they had 2 for $1 burger special. 2 for the price of 1, not 2 for $1. I was sitting in my wheelchair getting ready to go one Monday night when I noticed an older couple hadn't been served yet. I asked if anyone had helped them. They said no, so I said I would let one of the staff know. The man asked if I was the owner. I said, no, I'm just nosy. The next story is titled, I do work here, but not for you. I was working as an intern for a manufacturing company that would make car accessories. This was in their global headquarters. Once a year they would have large conference with some 200 attendees from the international offices in different countries. This was a 4-day thing that would have almost the entire conference area of the hotel we were hosting in occupied. The large room was set up as an auditorium, and this is where all the presentation related to the best sellers, changes in assortment, novelties, marketing guidelines, etc. would be presented. Then we had 3 more rooms, a relatively small one we used as storage and back office, and 2 other rooms that had items on display. One room was such that the windows to the outside were floor to ceiling and could open so that a car would fit through them and could be driven in through the fire department access lane that ran outside the building. So in this one room there were 3 cars that had various accessories mounted on them for display purposes. I was on duty to man one of the rooms while open to the attendees, and spent the remaining time stocking merchandise baskets in the main conference room and giving the hotel catering a heads up when a segment was 10 minutes away from finishing so they could roll out the food and drinks to be ready as people poured out of the main conference room. While the conference was in recess, the attendees were meant to enter these display rooms and look at the items on show as they may have been presented during one of the segments of the conference itself. Many of these pieces were novelties being shown before being released to the market, so they were not meant to be seen by people outside the company. On 2 days where this conference took place, other companies had meeting going on in other rooms, so the conference area couldn't be closed off from the main hotel lobby, and anyone who wanted to inspect could walk into the conference area. Normally this was not a problem, because nobody who was not working there would look at a deserted corridor, and when people were out, it was obvious this was a closed group. But one day, during one of the breaks, a family, father and 2 sons, of tourists wandered in, and they went into the room with the 3 cars and the accessories on display mounted on them. It was pretty close to the end of the break, so there was a lot of movement, but they could easily be made out, as children and a man with a faded t-shirt and shorts stuck out in a sea of suits. I saw them as one of the kids was making a straight line for one of the cars that had color-changing interior mood lighting and underfloor lighting installed. The color-changing bit was for display purposes, but I digress. As the room was soon going to be closed off anyway, I was prepared with the key fobs to lock the cars up before turning off the lights and locking the room. Before he could climb in and mess with the light system, partially installed so mounting could be visible to the attendees, I shut the car door and locked it, making the kid stop in his tracks and make a face. Before he could run off to other cars, I dashed over to those and repeated the locking up operation there as well. And none too soon, I may add, because Daddy was already there trying a door and barking at me to open a car for his kids to see. The following dialogue, not verbatim, ensued. Me, sir, this is not a public display. You and your children will have to leave. Dad, open these cars, would ya? What's the harm in my kids having a look at the pretty lights? Me, again, this is not a public display. This is a private convention for invited attendees only. Please leave. He was getting really close to me, which was funny, because I must have been a good 50 centimeters taller than him. His kids also now went to his side, as they must have sensed something was not right. I decided that the best thing to do was to slowly walk into him and get him out the door while he argued with me that I should let his kids get into the cars and play with the lights. The conference attendees had already left for the next segment of the presentation in the other room. He continued with me being so rude, being nasty to his kids for no reason, and I kept repeating that this was all lovely, but that I was working for the company that was hosting the conference and that the items on display were not meant for the general public. The moment I had them over the threshold, I pulled the conference room door shut behind me, and as soon as it latched closed, I slipped off to a side and made my way to the waiters that were disassembling the buffet and asked them if they could help me return these people to the lobby, as they were not attendees. This is when Daddy went all indignant and told me I had terrible customer service and that he will be making a complaint. And I turned around and replied, "Sir, I don't work for you or this hotel. I don't care if you think I'm rude to you and you want to make a complaint about me at the desk. All I want is for you to get lost from a space my company rented and you have no business being in." He then got really upset and started cursing at me, but the waiters took over and escorted him away from the conference room area. And I returned to the back office to put the key fobs away and then returned to the conference room with the cars to check that everything was in order and switch off the lights. As I was leaving the conference room, the manager for the conferencing spaces came to apologize, and I told her that it wasn't her fault and that I hoped the guy didn't cause much of a scene. She didn't reply to that, but told me they would be posting someone at the entry from the lobby to the conference area for the remaining breaks that were planned for that day. The next story is titled I guess it falls under here. Before Corona, these happened a while ago and I don't get it. I, 13F, gets confused for my mum on many occasions, but these two just didn't confuse me for my mum. No ho ho, no, people confused me for an adult. Number 1, I was shopping with my younger cousin, mum, aunt and grandma. Aunt told me to find grandma and younger cousin came with me. I had to hold her hand, and we went to look for her. We passed this table where a certain TV provider was, and the woman working there came up to us and started asking me questions. Memory's a little fuzzy, but it went something like this. Worker, excuse me, what TV provider do you have? Me, says a different TV provider than what they were advertising. Worker, okay, and how much do you pay for it? Me, I don't know, you should ask my mum. Worker, I'm sorry? Enter my mum and my aunt. My mum, did you find her yet? Me, no. Also, this woman is trying to talk to you. Worker, wait, realizes I'm not an adult. Oh my, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I really thought you were an adult and that was your daughter. You look really mature for your age. Me, thank you. We had a good laugh about it later, and after we left, Mum retold this to my grandma, and I kid you not, she said, "This grandma, WTF? She ain't no grown-up, she's 13? WTH? Number 2, here's a shorter one. Mum and I were shopping at a different store and picked up some essential oils for my diffuser. We found one, I went to pay for it, and this conversation went like this: cashier, okay, is that everything? Me, yes, pulls out some cash to pay for it. Cashier, do you have a rewards card with us? Me, no. Cashier, would you like to get one? Me, I can't. Cashier, are you over 18? Me, no. Cashier, I'm so sorry. You look really mature for your age. Me, thank you. Grabs my bag and walks over to my mum, who started laughing after this. No, the women weren't entitled, although it could have been worse. The next story is titled, I know you don't work here, but I can't leave a store without starting an argument, being proven wrong, then acting like I was right all along. Earlier today I was shopping in the hardware section of the big chain that starts with low and ends in ease. The older gentleman who works that department came up to me, faced me, made eye contact with me, and asked if he could help me. Just as I was beginning to speak, Karen walked up behind him and said to the back of his head, "Yes, you can," as if I wasn't there. I really didn't need any help, so I let it go and told the employee it was okay, go ahead and help her. As I was looking for the screws I needed, she asked him how far apart she should place shelf brackets along 12 feet of shelving, using one solid 12-foot board. He told her every other stud should do it, and that the studs were 16 inches apart. She turned and started to walk away, and the employee got tagged by another customer, so he walked away. She stopped, turned back and spoke to me, as if I had just been the one speaking with her. She could not possibly have mistaken myself and the employee. I'm white, 5'8", beard, no red vest. Employee was black, over 6 feet, no beard, red vest. Karen: so, every 3 feet then? Me: what? Well, no, as he said, studs are every 16 inches, so a bracket every 32 inches. K: right, 16 inches, a foot and a half. Twice that is 3 feet. I can add. Me: no, 16 inches is not a foot and a half. There are 12 inches in a foot, 6 inches in half a foot. That equals. K: interrupting, of course I know that. Good lord, it's a good thing you don't work here, you'd be telling people all kinds of dumb crap. Me: oh, it's on Karen. I take my tape measure off my belt and pull the tape out. See that red arrow at 16 inches and 32 inches? See where it says stud below the arrows? Those arrows go on every 16 inches for the whole 20 of the tape measure. See 18 inches, and how it's exactly halfway between 1 foot and 2. That's a foot and a half. Which is 12 plus 6, which is not 16. Ergo, I really said, ergo, never used the before in my life, but I was on a roll. 16 is not a foot and a half. K: I know that. Me: confused and temporarily disoriented. But. K: all friendly all of a sudden, trying to pretend the previous conversation never happened. Karen thought she had me. Anyway, what kind of screws would you use? Overconfidence, Karen. Your arrogance is your undoing. Your years of dropping eye of newt into a cauldron do not vex me. For I used to be a service writer at an auto shop. I sold people rotors and calipers when they really only needed pads. I sold alignments on cars with less than 1,000 miles on the odometer. I sold road hazard warranties that I knew my company would never honor. Though I repented years ago, and no longer dabble in the black arts of auto repair crap, I am still a level 3 crap master when I must be. Me: now laser focused and smelling an opportunity for sweet vengeance. Oh, no, don't mess your walls up with screws. They'll weaken your studs, make your paint peel, and they're not up to code for hanging shelves anymore. Didn't you hear about that? No? I'm surprised, it was all over the news a while back. Okay, do you own a hammer? Yeah? Good. I walk over and pick up a handful of aluminum gutter spikes. Use these. Much easier to drive into studs than those clunky screws. And really, you could get away with a bracket on every other stud, but I'd go every stud. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, am I right? K: oh. Thanks. Now I don't have to buy a drill. Me: yep. Good luck. The next story is titled, For the Last Frickin' Time, You Have the Wrong Number. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I started getting random texts from a number I didn't know, with little news, update blurbs apparently for their company, things like, don't forget the meeting at X, or, we'll be having the ceremony for Mr. Actual Employee blah blah, etc. It didn't happen often, once or twice a month. I'd toss a message back letting them know they had the wrong number, but would never get a reply. I work retail, had no idea who this person was or what they were talking about, of course. However, at the start of this year, my store was chosen for a remodel. They worked overnight, and I was one of the employees switched over. This meant I'd get there around midnight, and leave when the store opens at 8 AM. Bedtime for me was around noonish. So, when texts from Mr. Wrong Number popped up one day around 3 o'clock in the afternoon and woke me up, I tried to ignore it. But then another came. And another. Something about moving containers from storage A to storage B and trying to coordinate teams, or some such, I think. Needless to say, I was done. I might paraphrase a bit, since I don't have the message log, but you'll get the gist. Me: hey, you need to remove me from your contacts. You have the wrong number. Them: who is this? Me: nobody you know. Remove me from this list. Them: how did I get your number? Me: I don't know. Remove me from your list. Them: are you sure you aren't actual employee? Me: dude. No. I don't work for you. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you work for. You've been texting me for like a year, I keep telling you you have the wrong number, and you refuse to listen. Me: stop. Me: cease. Me: desist. Me: leave me alone. Me: remove me from your list. And the best part, apparently they'd made it a group chat, so at this point, I started getting texts from other numbers as well, replying to Mr. Wrong Number. Me, I work overnight shifts. You woke me up. I should be ducking sleeping right now. And instead I've got you and a bunch of random strangers blowing up my phone and keeping me from sleeping. For the last time, remove me from your goddamn list. Them, are you 987-555-1234 or are you 987-555-1243? Me, I'm 1234. Remove me from your list. Apparently he did, at last, because I didn't get a reply from him or anyone else from their group, and was finally able to get some sleep. The next story is titled, I Don't Have a Son. I went to the local mall to get a new pair of headphones. I have some earphones but the noise cancelling was too good and I could use them at work. A friend called me and we started to chat. I told him I was at the mall and he asked me if I could wait for him a little because he needed to buy some stuffs and he wanted my help. Not a problem, I just gonna buy some cookies and wait on the shadow sitting on a bench. I was hearing an audiobook, eating my cookies and playing on my phone. Out of the corner of my eye I saw a woman talking and doing hand gestures in my direction. She could be talking to me since I'm a stranger, wearing headphones and I haven't responded her. Probably she is talking to someone on her Bluetooth speaker. That's what I thought. Anyways, I was more concerned about Rand Althor fighting a Forsaken and my phone. My friend arrived. I took out my headphones and tried to leave when I heard a loud, "Excuse me, you can't leave your baby here." I turned around my head thinking, who would leave an unattended baby? I saw a middle-aged woman with an angry face pointing at a baby cart aside of the bench I was sat. I keep walking but the woman got closer and yelled, "I'm talking to you." Bad excuse of a parent. I turned around my head again just to see this angry woman looking directly at me. For the context, I was 25 on that moment, but I don't have a son. F is friend, or is angry woman, SG is security guard, SM is stupid mother and ME is me. I hate that guy. The conversation was something like this. Me, are you talking to me? Or, yes, I'm talking to you. What kind of father would just leave his baby here and walk away? Me, I don't know, ask the father. Or, well, I don't care if you're not the father, you can't let your baby abandoned here, is your responsibility. Me, why? It's not my. Or, with a furious face, are you seriously asking? Bad parents like you get me sick, now go back here and take care of your baby. Me, ma'am, I'm not a parent, I don't have a baby, I don't know this baby or his family. F, he doesn't have a girlfriend because he's too dumb. Or, I don't care, what are you still can't let a baby alone. I was about to just look for an employee to tell him about this baby and hopefully get this woman to understand that I did bring this kid with me, but a security guard showed up. SG, what is happening here? Before I could say anything, the woman started to rant about how I was trying to let my baby alone and how a bad parent I was. SG, mister, you can't let your child alone. If you insist, I'm gonna call the cops and report you to social services. The woman was more calm now that someone with authority was taking care, and probably a punishment for that horrible father was on the future. I usually would be responding her with insults, but everything happened too quickly to get mad, and to be fair, I was as confused and concerned as her about the baby. Me, what I was trying to explain to this woman is that I did bring this baby with me. I'm not his father nor his tutor, I just came here to buy some headphones. I don't know this baby. F, and couple other things, but he is right, he don't have a child and the baby was already there, someone must have let him there. SG told us to stay there while he was trying to fix all this thing. The woman approached to me with a red face and apologized for his behavior. I told her it was right because she was just concerned about the baby's safety. Now all of you would be thinking, where is the "I don't work here" lady? After a couple of minutes the SG came back with the woman I was earlier, but she was a very angry stupid mother. SM, what the duck is happening here? Why are you trying to let my baby alone, talking to me? Me, why the duck did you leave your baby alone? SM, I didn't leave him alone, I left him with you. Me, WTF, why would you leave your baby with a complete stranger and why would I be taking care of him? SM, that's your job, do your ducking job. Me, I'm not a ducking babysitter, I don't know you. If wasn't because of all, your baby would be alone because you did ask me anything, and even if you do, I woulda take care of an stranger's baby. SM, that's it, you crappy brat, I'm getting the manager and getting you fired. I never had such a crappy service on all the years I be a customer on this store. You had the obligation to look after my kid and you couldn't even do such a simple thing. That's why no one wants to hire you ducking millennials. I tried to interrupt her at this point, but she just kept ranting about me and my job. SM, don't even try to apology, I'm the manager's friend and he would be very angry when I talk with him about this. Me, I don't ducking work here. Probably was my black with a murderale very different from the white shirt with the logo of the store. It also could be my jeans or my very long hair instead of the green khakis and short hair the employees wear, but apparently she realized she let her baby with a stranger mistaking him for an employee. Or, we don't even let our employees look out for customers' childs, you stupid craphead, it's against the store's regulations. SM, trying to get back some of his anger and throw it at this woman. Maybe she wanted to blame anyone but her. WHO, the hell are you to talk me like that? I'm gonna get you all fired, I'm the manager's friend. Or, I'm the store's administrator, you dumb idiot. After that the woman tried to explain her mistake and go away, but the security guards didn't let her go. I went to the store with my friend and the OR apologized again. She even told me she was just the cashier's manager, but she knew that dumb idiot was full of crap, so she lied to destroy her. I know the manager, trump card. If you are wondering about the baby, the little creature looked healthy, he was sleeping the whole time and did realized what was happening. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comment.